Hello there, my name is Aloye and you are welcome to my channel. Here is where I talk about wealth and productivity, and today I'm going to be talking about 5 things you can do to become wealthy. These are not things that require a lot of work on your part. These are just things that have to do with your own individuality. It has to do with yourself as a person. And the first is that you need to decide that you want to be wealthy. Until you make that decision, you will find yourself walking away from wealth. But once you come to terms with the fact that you want to be wealthy, you will find yourself walking in the direction of wealth. You begin to see opportunities that can make you wealthy. You begin to see discover areas in your life that have maybe kept you back from creating wealth or even being able to build your wealth. So the first thing you need to do is to decide. You need to get rid of mindsets that have been holding you back. Some mindset could be the thought that being wealthy is worldly. But when you think about the values that come from being wealthy, you would find out that it's better for you to be wealthy than to not be wealthy. There are lots of times when the thing about wealth is that wealth gives you options. So options that wouldn't naturally be there, when you're not. You don't need to borrow. You don't need to have debts. I'm not saying that you need to be wealthy to not do these things, but I'm saying that it makes life easier. It makes you achieve most of the things you want to achieve without having to wait for so long before you get them. You don't need to save for so long at that time, when you're already wealthy. So these are some of the things you need to know about becoming wealthy. First of all, you need to decide that you want to be wealthy. Second is that you need to believe that you can, that it is in you to be wealthy. The potential to be wealthy is in you, and that you're not different from those who are already wealthy. Most people weren't born with wealth. We have a few people who were born with wealth, but there are those who've had to struggle, who've had to do one thing or the other. Behind most wealthy people is a story. You need to ask them, and if they are kind enough, they'll tell you what their story is. So you must believe in you that you can be wealthy. I've seen some people who, I've heard some people's stories about wealth, and it really took it. Most of them took it, a decision that they wanted to be, and began to do things that took them in the direction. But if they didn't believe that they could be wealthy, they would never have been. So you kind of attract the things you believe in. You need to believe that you can, and you find yourself working in that direction. The next is that you need to determine what you want. What is your own definition of wealth? Wealth is different things to different people. And one of the reasons people are scared to discuss wealth when we talk about it is their minds always go to money. And everybody has this attitude about money. Money. Money seems to be the reason most people do evil things they do. It's one of the reasons for crimes. One of the in fact, most crimes as a result of money. People want more than they already have, so they go to take what others have. But if you define what your own wealth is wealth for you having great friends who love you, who would always be available. You have options of friends who would be there for you. Is wealth being able to be to not have to rush to work, and you now have time for your family. You can hang out with your family. So the definition of wealth is wealth having lands, properties, buildings, or enough money to help those who are in need. It all depends on you. So you define what your own wealth is. Another thing you need to do is to become self-aware. You need to develop that trait about yourself that makes you take stock of your life. You need to be able to find out the reasons why you do the things you do. Become self-aware. Find out the limiting habits that you have, limiting things that limit you from becoming wealthy. I took my time one time to really discover myself, and I found a lot of things that had been holding me back, from where I wanted to go. I'll start the year and I'll have a lot of good plans on things I wanted to achieve, and into the middle of the year or end of the year, I'll find out that I hadn't achieved as much as I wanted to. I knew that I had potential for more than I did. I did celebrate a few wins, but not as many as I thought I would. And if you look at what I wanted to do, these things were capable of generating enough income. But those habits are stuff I will talk about in another video. But you need to check yourself very well. Find out what are the things that are limiting you. Is it fear? Is it that you don't have the skills required to do the things? It's one thing to have a talent, but another thing to develop it to be profitable for you. So you try to be more self-aware. Find out if you have attitudes and traits that are keeping you away from what you are supposed to be doing or what's supposed to be coming to you. And then the last should be to make a plan that will produce wealth. Make a plan. What do you need to do to create your wealth? You could talk with somebody who is skilled in planning. You could take your time to start from what you're already doing. Find out the areas where you need to improve, and then and work it out. The most important thing is you identify this thing that you need to do or what you need to do. You need to get clarity on your goals, the goals that are going to achieve your wealth, and then you go for it. So these are the 5 things you need to do in order to be wealthy, and these things don't require work per se. This is just the preliminary to wealth. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and make your comments, and I will respond. Thank you so much for watching, and have a blessed day. Bye.